So upon hearing about this news, I didn't really think much of it. Oh wait, I gotta kill this fly for a second. Shit, I missed. Okay. As I was saying before the fly rudely interrupted me, the news really didn't struck much in me because, well, I'm not really that much of a fan of Redick. Not that I don't like him, but I don't really have much of a feeling when I watch him. I just see him shoot threes and I'm like, well, he's good. He's somebody that I would like to see on the Raptors, but look, it never happened. It is what it is, and I'm not sure if it would have helped much. Danny Green's good enough to have, and honestly, uh, we won a championship with him, so we didn't need Redick. Now, this is not about the Raptors, and it's not really about Redick. I just want to talk about Redick because the player that I'm about to talk about today it has a pretty similar situation going on to where if he were to be outside of his home city, I'm pretty sure he would retire. Now, this is where we get into tangents, okay? So first, I want to congratulate Redick, for having a great career. It might be or it might not be a Hall of Fame career. I'm not gonna talk about that right now. Okay, let the guy have his flowers. Okay, people are praising him. I want to praise him as well. This fly keeps annoying me, and I wish him and his family the best. Okay, so now we have to go into the real issue, guys. I know this is sort of a weird video to make, but I thought to myself, as soon as I seen the retirement announcement, I'm like, it's very similar to Kyrie. It really is, and I just couldn't help it. Kyrie Irving is in Brooklyn Nets. He's in his home city, and because of that, he's able to spend time with his family. Now, Kyrie, we all know he's a pretty outspoken guy. He speaks on a lot of things, and he's not afraid to speak his mind. Now, in the past, I've made fun of him, and there are some things that he says that does leave him in hot water, and sometimes that is justified, and sometimes it's not. I remember in January of this year, Stephen A. Smith was calling for him to retire, and I think that was due to the absence of him not playing some games just because of personal reasons. And at that point, you can see that a lot of times Kyrie's mind isn't on basketball; it's on something else. It's on other things, and he seems to have a variety of interests that it's good for him. And I personally feel the same way. I have divergent interest. I have very much an interest in one thing, and then the next week I have a different interest. And it's hard sometimes to keep your focus on one thing. Now, of course, this is not about me, but Kyrie, man. Recently, it came out that Nick Wright, said some things about Kyrie's agent telling him that he would retire essentially if the Brooklyn Nets were to deal him in a trade. And Kyrie responded to his tweet, and this is where the whole kerfuffle came in. And he responded to him saying, "Puppet." Simply said a puppet with an image of strings being pulled by a hand, and there's a puppet being pulled by the strings. I don't know why I had to repeat that twice, but okay. Now the puppet itself, Nick Wright responded to those allegations on a live television show, like he loves to do, and so I'm not surprised. And honestly, there's not really much to gather from this. But I have to say, seeing as Kyrie's interest lies around, wherever he goes, and a lot of his mind doesn't seem to be focused on basketball, I wouldn't be surprised if this is true. I wouldn't be surprised if, being away from home and, now he's recently converted to Islam, so clearly he has a different view of life than he used to. I don't know what led him to this decision of his to convert to Islam, but I'm pretty sure with something like that, you have to be thinking to yourself that basketball is just one thing, and life is a much bigger thing. And when you start to take religion seriously, you start to think of everything else as beneath it. And I'm pretty sure that at any point, if Kyrie feels the slight dissatisfaction, I'm pretty sure that he's just gonna retire because it's not worth it to him. It's not gonna be worth it to just go on. What, he needs a championship? He already won a championship with LeBron. Why go through the labor of doing this again through another team other than Brooklyn? Like, it would make sense for him to not play anymore. Like, what else does he have to gain if he's thinking of serving Allah Subhanahu wa Taala? There's no other thing to do than that. So there's not really a point to continue playing NBA basketball. You already made your money, your family's well taken care of, and you got your championship. And he's probably going to be a Hall of Fame if he were to be retiring tomorrow. So there's not really much to gain. So, although Nick Wright might be a puppet, doesn't mean that he's wrong. I still think that Kyrie would be that guy. And I've suspected this ever since he came out and talked about how life is more than basketball. In his tirade on Instagram after he got booed by the Celtics fans. So at that point, you can see that this is a very plausible scenario. And no, I'm not gonna hear it from people that claim that Kyrie won't be a Hall of Famer. That's just not true. He's going to be one, I have no doubt about it. And there's a player that recently got inducted into the Hall of Fame that really should have been there years ago, and it's very nice to see him finally being recognized. Now, if you want to know more, go check out this video where I talk about the possible reasons that it took this long for him to get to this point. I'm pretty sure you'll find it interesting. Also, shout out to Kyrie, man. MashaAllah, he's been a great role model for us Muslim men. Great job. Bye bye.